Smash, the storytelling game show. My name is Christine Blackburn, and we are going to have a fantastic time tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live on Facebook and on YouTube. And feel free to leave comments in the chat. Let's get that chat going. Let's get the conversation moving along. And let's get this party started. All right, you guys. Now let me introduce to you the Wheel of Stories. There are 12 permanent topics on the wheel, like drunk tank, school days, Hollyweird, interviews, birthdays, and lots more of wild topics. There's also a space that says free, and if the contestant lands on free, then they can choose any of the topics on the wheel. And there's 3 spaces that say audience, and this is when it gets very exciting. If the contestant lands on audience, well, that's when you guys come into play, and you can leave a story topic in the chat, and one of our expert judges will choose it to be the contestant's topic. In fact, right now, start putting your favorite story topics in the chat. So if in the event that one of the contestants lands on if they land on audience, you heard me. If they land on audience, we'll choose one of those topics. And speaking of expert judges, I think we just were. Let's bring him on right now. All right, you guys, the first judge coming to the show, he's a comedian and a writer, and he wrote on At Midnight for the entire run. He's also a broadcaster for the LA Derby Dolls, and he's one of the funniest guys you'll ever follow on Twitter. Please welcome Blaine Capatch. Hey, Blaine.
Oh, hi, Christine. I didn't hear you come in. Hey, good to see you. Hey, happy holidays over there. Happy holidays. What time is it out there?
Well, gas is $3.29 a gallon.
Oh, my God. I've gone back in time too far. I was just trying to see Jefferson Airplane before they change over to the Starship. You know, Christine, we couldn't do the show tonight without the help of some of our sponsors. We're brought to you tonight in part by Abs of Glass. They make you weak as a baby. You won't be able to support your own head with abs of glass. No minutes a day. Also brought to you by spiders, drinking from the corners of your eyes while you're asleep. Spiders will make veers in your eggs. Christine?
All right, you guys, this next expert judge coming on the show, she was Barbara Jean on the Reba TV show, Bonnie Wheeler on Baby Daddy, and you can catch her in Young Sheldon or playing 25 Words or Less. Now, check this out. She was voted People Magazine's 60th subscriber over 40. And I think she's now co-hosting the podcast with Reba McEntire called Living and Learning. Let's find out. Please welcome Melissa Peterman. Melissa, there she is.
Hey, Blaine. How is everybody?
Fantastic, Melissa. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be here as always. I can't wait to hear these stories.
Melissa, are you co-hosting that podcast with Reba?
I am. We just finished our first season on Spotify, and we're waiting to hear if we're going to do more.
Exciting. It's exclusively on Spotify, right?
Yes.
And it's called Living and Learning. And what have you learned?
I've learned so much. We've had amazing guests. We've had Glennon Doyle, we had Jane Fonda, we had Dolly Parton. Christine, every day I learn just something a little new all the time. So it's been fantastic.
Who is this Jane Fonda you speak of?
She's apparently an icon.
All right, you guys, listen, we're going to bring on the third judge, I hope. Is he in the room? I'm hoping he's here. At some point, he's going to jump in. So let me give you the intro anyway. Now, this guy is a novelist, a screenwriter, an artist, and a producer. And he's best known for his work on Seinfeld as both a writer and co-executive producer. He coined the phrase yada yada and double dipping and sponge-worthy. And he was also the creator and host of The Narrow World of Sports, one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. You can still watch it on YouTube, The Narrow World of Sports. And he's also a freelance writer. He writes for the New York Times, the GQ, Esquire. And if that's not enough, recently he published #MeAsWell, a novel. I have it in the other room. I meant to bring it out. It's super great. Please welcome, cross your fingers, the amazing Peter Mehlman. Go. 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 Dance it out. Let's dance it out. Peter Mehlman. Woo, where are you, brother? All right.
You know what?
I'm on the phone.
You know, I think the real Peter Mehlman was inside us all along.
Well, I got him on the phone, and we're just going to have to figure out what's going on. I know he'll be here. Let me just get through some of the rules. You know, I know Blaine, Melissa, you both played a lot. You know that. But for the folks out there who haven't seen the show before, just so you know, Story Smash, folks, we're playing 2 rounds of the show tonight. And in the event of a tie, we'll go to a spinoff round. And we are judging on 3 things, you guys. We're judging, not me, but the judges. They're judging on the ability to stay on the topic.
Okay.
The story, like, is it a good story? And also the time. So that's what we're judging on. Your scores will be between 1 and 5 for each of those topics. A 15 would be a perfect score from each judge, which is 45, a perfect round. And if you add both rounds together, it's 45 times 2. And I'm not that good at math.
This is like being in my kid's Zoom class.
I'm confused, Christine. I'm already.
I know. And we're going to work through it together, no problem. But Blaine, I did want to tell you, the other day, it's so crazy on Zoom. I had to write an email to my daughter's teacher asking if my daughter has permission to leave her bedroom at 1:00 for a dentist appointment.
Okay.
And
it was a long way to go, but I was trying to be funny.
I thought you were blinking hard to let me know that you were that you had been out of the encampment and you were ready for pickup.
You guys, I got 4 names in this Story Smash Can of Truth. And here's something you should know. Every one of these people have played the game, and I think they've all won the game before. That's what I think.
This is a tournament of champions.
This could be the tournament of champions. I'm thrilled to have each and every one of these guests. Let's check the phone one more time for Peter. And here we go. This is a live text to Peter Mehlman. Text Peter Mehlman.
Tell him your story. He'll love it. It's so good.
We're starting the show, and we really hope you can come. Let me know what I can do.
I think we might have to crowdsource a third AI judge from the audience.
Well, that's a great idea, Blaine, because as you know, folks, on Facebook and YouTube, you can be chatting right now. Let's get the conversation going. Let's make things happen. And let's
follow me on Gab.
Let's start this show.
I'm
Good luck to all the contestants. And remember, we do fact check each and every story. I'm pulling my putting my hand in the can of truth and pulling out the first contestant's name, and that is, oh, hey now, this is exciting. Now, this girl's show business career began at the age of 11 months old when she was plucked off the streets to be a Gerber baby. I'm not kidding you. And she discovered the harsh realities of show business when she was replaced 1 month later for being too old.
There's always someone younger and prettier. Just wait.
That's what I'm saying. There's either younger babies, cuter babies. You don't know. Now, this girl has also worked as a stand-up, an actress, a performance artist, a celebrity interviewer, and TV writer and producer. She's written and produced hundreds of hours of television, no kidding, including shows for Disney, GSN, Oxygen, Fox, HGTV, Lifetime, NBC, CBS, a whole lot more, and the TV Guide Network. Please put your hands together. All right, Jennifer's here. I'm still talking to Peter Mehlman. He said you can use Zoom. What? Hold on. Let's live text Peter Mehlman. Peter, it's not hard. Just click on that link and use your phone. All right, you guys. Here comes.
Pull down what your horoscope is.
This is going to be a true 1-minute story. Kicking it off, as I said, is Jennifer Vally. Let's tell her what to do.
Spin that wheel. It's been brought to you by Very Dry Idea Antiperspirant and Deodorant. Just a hint of vermouth. Never let them see you drink.
Holly Weird. Jennifer landed on Holly Weird, and who knows? She's been in the business so long. I'm sure she has a story. Whenever you're ready, Jennifer, I'll start the clock.
Okay, so I remember when I had to interview the Olsen twins, okay? So they had just turned 18, and they had done this movie called New York Minute. And I had spent like a whole week with them. I did the screening, the junket. They got a star on the Walk of Fame. They had a red. It was a big to-do. And I wasn't going to ask them about turning 18 because that was gross. I'm a woman. I'm not going to humiliate myself. You know what I'm talking about? Because Howard Stern and everybody was like, blah, 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 blah. But I wanted to ask them something really unique. So I asked my friend Brooks, who worked on a show with them, and I said, what do you know about these Olsen twins? He goes, well, first of all, they're not identical twins. They're fraternal twins. I went, oh, that's interesting. And he goes, but here, this is the thing he told me that was so funny. I still laugh when I think about it. He goes, here's what you got to know about the Olsen twins. Mary Kate is prettier, and Ashley knows it.
Wow. Great beginning to the show. Melissa Peterman.
Wow. As somebody who follows the Olsen twins and their career extensively, I never thought someone could tell me a story of something I didn't know. And you did that. You did that brilliantly. I did not know they were fraternal twins. I thought they were identical twins or just one person with a skin tag. But here's what I have a sister. I have a sister who's a little bit older than me, and every sister knows this. Like quick story. David Sedaris, who I love, she made him sign a book to me, and because she knew I was a fan, and she made him sign the book, "Your sister is prettier than you," and signed it to me. So I appreciate it. What a good joke. I thought you came out, you gave us, it was someone that we want to know about, people that they're reclusive. I mean, you don't get to hear, they're like J.D. Salinger. We don't know a lot about them anymore. So you gave us a scoop. So for that, I mean, I'm going to give you 5 for the story because we got a scoop. Not only are they fraternal, but Mary Kate knows that that Ashley knows that she's the prettiest. So I'm going to give you 5 for story. You nailed the time. I'm giving you 5 for time. And you know what? I'm giving you 5 for topic too, because you chose wisely, because I bet you've got a canon of stories of Holly Weird, okay? And you chose wisely.
No kidding. And like you said, Melissa, look at that time. Blaine Capatch.
Sorry, I was muted.
I
thought that was a fantastic story. I love anytime somebody tells an Olsen twin story, I can smell the cigarette smoke. I can smell it. That generated that psychic smoke for me, and I thought that was wonderful. I also wonder where their Walk of Fame star is, if it's near the Shake Shack or the Funko Pop store, because I was going down there to get some Olsen twin Funko Pops the other day, and it would be really cool if it was down by the Funko Pop store.
They're in a really good spot.
Oh, they are? Where's the spot? Do you know where the spot is?
It's right across the street from Jimmy Kimmel from the El Capitan. It's right there in front of.
Oh, wow. Wow, across from the Capitan. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, my daughter loves it
song.
too.
I also love the fact. Now, listen. I also know a lot about the Olsen twins because I go through their garbage, and it's true. Mary Kate is prettier, and Ashley does know it. So I'm giving you 15.
Oh my God. Okay, so far a perfect score. No sign of Peter Mehlman. That's unfortunate because I texted him. He seems a little pissed at me. I mean, not pissed, but he said, why can't you do it on Zoom?
He's over here right now. He's really mad at you.
He said, why can't you do it on Zoom?
Is it because of the restraining order he has against me?
Wait, what's that?
Is it because of the restraining order he has against me? Look, we're more than 100 feet apart.
I'm not sure. Well, what did I think of the story? I thought it was fantastic, but I am in no position whatsoever to judge. So let's go ahead with that as Jennifer Vally's total score. Let's look at the score. I think it was perfect. That's what I
30.
saw. But let's look at the leaderboard because that guy really knows
Yeah.
how to count.
Yeah, no splash.
Jennifer's total score 30. Now there's a whole nother round coming up, so who knows what's going to happen. But thanks for playing, Jennifer. Let's keep moving this show right along and bring on the very next contestant. Whoa, all the names are out of the thing. How'd that happen? Wait a second. Okay, now all the names are back in the Story Smash Can of Truth. And coming up right now, oh boy, this is another fantastic person. I'm super happy she's on the list. She is a Los Angeles-based storyteller who, before the pandemic, was truly all over town telling her fantastic stories. And now you can hear her latest story on Risk, the Risk podcast episode, best of number 18. Please welcome Erica Blumfield. Erica! Let's tell Erica what to do, you guys.
Spin that wheel. This is brought to you by Entenmann's Impossible Poppums. It tastes like real beef. Cinnamon glazed chocolate or pork. Entenmann's Impossible Poppums.
Hooking up. Erica landed on hooking up. You've got 1 minute to tell a hooking up story, and I bet you got it.
Okay, I got this. I'm starting my timer. Okay. So my friend who was hooking me up with her pee so I could pass the drug test to get this really awesome job at a very trendy hot hotel. And I stayed at her house so the pee would be fresh. She woke up in the morning. She had performance anxiety. No matter how much she drank, the girl could not pee. We called another friend who was sober. She rushed over. I had prepared. I'd gotten a condom and those heat pads that you put on your back because you have to keep the pee a certain temperature. And I Googled all this and learned. So then the friend peed in a cup. Me and my other friend stretched the condom open. She poured the pee and we knotted it. I put it in my pants with the heat pads. We drove over to the drug testing place. I got in the bathroom, realized I had no way to puncture it, ripped it open with my teeth, pee everywhere. Enough got in the cup. And lo and behold, I got the job.
A beginning, a middle, and an end. Blaine Capatch.
Wow.
I salute your story, Miss Secretary of State. That's quite a get. You know what? I'm gonna just tell you. Start off with the chorus, "Can't Buy Me Love," and say I'm giving you 15 because of the phrase "hooking me up with her pee."
Yeah,
hooking me up with her pee.
That really was a great
Just
line.
Cash. Another thing. Sorry to interrupt. One thing I actually really did like was how you said you used hooking up for a sort of an oblique kind of angle. I thought it was very, very clever and nice.
thanks.
Melissa Peterman.
I want to give her a 15 because it was epic, but she was a little bit short on time. But I will tell you this. We've all heard our fair share of urine mule stories. When someone's like, who's this girl? That's Claire. She's the urine mule. She always brings me my urine. I love this story because it made me want to hear more from you because I want to know what was in your pee that would have not gotten you the job. Opioids, all sorts of stuff. Do we know?
Erica, go ahead.
Erica, I want to know.
I'm such a nerd. It was pot. But it was on the list.
See, I'm more of a nerd because mine would have been, I had so much vitamin C. Anyway, I love a good urine mule story. I'm only taking off 1 point for time because, we needed more. We needed 18 seconds more of that epic story.
Was I that blind? I was 18 seconds short.
I see 1 minute, Melissa. What do you see?
Oh, I see 42, which was 42 seconds.
Oh, I was like, because I need glasses.
So it was 1 minute and 42.
Erica, I need you to be my urine mule for the next time I get tested to judge this show. So you know what? I'm taking that back. I'm taking it back, and I'm only going to shave off 1 because you were a tiny bit over. So I'm giving you 14 points. Genius.
14 points. I have to share with you, Erica. I have also needed urine for a job application, and not that long ago. And there was 2 doses in the pack, and the second dose is in my closet. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to show you. It was from a company called Urine Luck.
Very nice.
All right, let's take a look.
There's an even worse one called Urine City of Industry.
Urine Van Nuys.
Look at these folks not even believing us here in the chat.
That's
yeah,
a fact.
it's
a fact,
true.
Dave.
We fact check all these stories. You know that. Blaine, what was your score again?
My score again was 15. Unless
15.
You're looking for my breathalyzer, and it's 007. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da-da.
Boom. Pa-boom.
Yeah.
Erica's total score. Let's look at the leaderboard. I'm sure it's ready. What's the total score, please? Please.
I heard a keyboard
29.
sound.
Erica's total score 29 points. It's a great score. There's a whole nother round coming up. You never know what's going to happen. Let's go ahead back to the story Smash Can of Truth and pull the next contestant coming out. Oh, I like this name. Okay, let's take a look at this name right here. Now, this guy, I got to tell you, man, he is the host of the storytelling show Risk and a member of the Groundlings Sunday Company, and that ain't nothing. His stories have been on NPR, The Moth, BuzzFeed, and more. And his memoir about growing up gay and goth in Texas is called Bad Kid. And it's based on his New York Times Critics' Pick solo show of the same name, Bad Kid. Please welcome the very fabulous David Crabb. David!
Hi.
Hey, David! Nice to see you, brother.
I just want to be someone's drug mule.
Yes.
Urine mule. Urine mule. God.
Cool.
Let's tell him what to do.
Spin that mule. It's been brought to you by Advil AM. Keeps you awake for the pain. Advil AM.
Look at that. Vacation. David Lennon on vacation.
All we ever wanted.
True 1-minute story about a vacation.
Okay, I got it. So, when I was in college, we took a vacation to New York City. And I was kind of out, but not all the way out. So I was like staying at the Hotel the Edison, which is the one that George Costanza, by the way, got handcuffed to the bed by the prostitute. So I was so excited. Anyway, I waited till all the other art students were asleep so I could go out and look at the gay part of town. And when I was out, I was at the L train subway station, so drunk, and I heard something. And there was a huge rat up on the subway platform, like an old rat with like a cane and a monocle. And I got up on the bench, like eek a mouse, to hide from the rat. I was like, New York's terrible. And I saw this gorgeous black woman in this print gown walking towards me, and I screamed at her, a mouse. And the rat like charged the woman, and I was up on the bench, and she turned sideways and let the rat get in front of her. And then she just delicately kicked the rat on, and it spun, landed on the subway track water, and went away. And she was like, stupid rut. What was that?
What the what? Blaine Capatch.
Yeah. New York.
Sorry, I was muted. That had everything. It had an unintelligible woman kicking a rat. It had water, and it had a setup for this joke, which is the gay part of town is New York. I'm gonna give you 14 on this one because you came in a little short, and there was a little pause, but it was a great story, very delightful. Thank you.
Fantastic, David Crabb. Okay, Melissa Peterman.
I loved everything about it, even though rats are my biggest fear. And they're crazy. Like, so how big of a rat? Are we talking like a tennis shoe?
It was sizable. And once I moved to New York, I would actually learn a thing because I had to kick one out of a bar in the East Village that was attacking clients called Rafifi. And I learned that they actually come up to die. So when you see ones that are very just out and proud, not to go back to the gay theme,
right?
They're near the end. So it was big.
Well,
rats.
Then you should be honored because that rat came out and his last dying wish was to see you. And that's what I mean, amazing. And first of all, I want a movie about this because I've already I can envision this woman just appearing in a cloud of subway smoke, or something, and kicking the rat away. I loved all of it. And what would the rat's name have been? I know Rafifi was one that was in the East Village. What would who would play this rat in the movie that I want to produce?
Oh, Kenneth Branagh.
All right, 15.
15 from Melissa Peterman. An amazing story. A great
He had a rat and accent, and he seems super wise.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. Yep. And just so everybody knows, look at that. David's total score, 29. It's a great score. There's only 2 judges. The best you can do is 30. So what the heck, 29. I've heard from Peter Mehlman, and he says that he's tried to get on 10 times. The same thing keeps coming up, that his browser doesn't support it. And I'm not sure why they're all so mad at him, but he's not able to come up. It says it comes up for a second, and then it tells me my browser isn't supported. So
he needs to go to Chrome. I
told him that. It's so funny you should say that, Melissa. I said that too. I said, Peter, use Chrome. So he's still trying, and who knows? He might catch up with us because heck, we're not even halfway through the show. We've got another person coming on right now to tell a true 1-minute story. That person,
you try to rock a side pony, and the show just goes off the rails.
That's the thing. Everything goes.
Can we go back to talking about the Secret of Nim musical? Because I think that's where this all ends up, is the Secret of Nim musical. It's got everything. It's got gay rats. It's got a story that everybody loves that we can retcon. I'm already at the 101, which is closed.
You guys, maybe Peter Mehlman is on a Dell computer.
Ba, ba, ba.
All right, you guys, we got another contestant coming up right now. And by the way, this is the third person I met in Los Angeles 24 years ago.
iPad.
Who's that? What's happening? I met this guy, you guys, 23 years ago, 24 years ago. He's the third person I met in Los Angeles. He's remained a good friend. He is a comedian and an actor and an improviser. And you may have seen him in the fight scene in the original Anchorman. Sit on that. Now, what you never saw him do was enter the Capitol illegally. Now, he recorded a comedy album called A Little Off the Top of My Head, and you can find him at jimcoughlin.com. Please welcome the very fabulous Jim Coughlin.
Thank you.
All right, Coughlin, let's tell him what to do.
Wheel. It's been brought to you by Dully's. When a Sharpie, it's just too sharp. Dully.
Interviews. Jim Coughlin has landed on interviews. He has 1 minute to talk about whether he went to an interview, he conducted an interview. Nobody knows, but we're going to find out. When you're ready, Coughlin, we'll start the clock. Well, not now.
Okay. So I find out there's a job opening for an assistant at Disney. Because the assistant who had the job had gone to a party on the roof of the building by going up the fire escape, and he slipped and fell to his death. So I don't get my resume in time, so I don't get the job. 6 months later, the new guy is moving up, not on a fire escape, but a new job. So I get my resume in, I go for the interview. There is a fire in Griffith Park, and the power is out, but they're still working as if alternate power is fine. Then the smoke from the fire in Griffith Park drifts to the roof, and now the fire alarm is on, and they finally are forced to go out. So the guy interviewing me decides, I'll just interview you on the sidewalk while everyone's leaving. So the interview happens, but everybody's just interrupting, saying, I'll see you tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. He says, call me tomorrow. I'll tell you if you got the job. I call, I talk to the assistant. 5 times I call. I only talk to the assistant. Finally, on Monday, I call and I speak to the assistant that got the job, who finally tells me I didn't get the job. The end.
Oh, my God. It was 102 to be fair. Melissa Peterman.
Okay. We need to dissect this a tiny bit. So this is true then. They covered up an assistant's death. Like what happened? He truly fell from his
Yeah, it was on the week. I mean, it was his private life, but he
Oh,
went to a
okay.
party and he died. Yeah, no, they weren't covering it up. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, this is bigger than this. You've got to go on. You need to go on to a bigger show and let this scoop out, because I'm like, wait, what? Disney had a party on the roof, and then someone. Okay. Anyway, so I like this story because it has all the things that we all can relate to. Somebody else telling it, it's like meeting your ex's new girlfriend and her telling you that you're over. It's like and the fact that you had to call them to find out if you got the job. Also, an interview during a fire. It was basically an interview during a fire drill, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So, did you feel like, what did you wear to the interview?
Oh, I'm sure I was wearing a suit and tie. Yeah.
Suit and tie? Okay.
Classic.
You should have got it. You were robbed, Jim, by the way.
Right.
You wore a suit and tie and you were robbed from that. And somebody else. And what's that person doing now? What's he doing on a Friday night? Is he doing this show on StreamYard? I don't know. I don't think he's happy.
Not
So
at all.
that's who's the winner now, Jim. You're the winner.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
You're
Thank
the
you.
winner. And you are such a winner. I'm giving you 15.
15, a fabulous score, Blaine Capatch.
Thank you.
Jim, that had everything. That had a woman kicking a dog into a train track. That had oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the other thing. Yeah, that had everything. That had fraternal twins. It smelled like smoke. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong notes. That had everything. That had hooking me up with her pee. Jim, I got to be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I'm kidding. I loved it from you. The moment when you said somebody fell to their death, right up to the fact that there was a fire and that this job was cursed. You dodged a bullet, Jim. But I'm going to take a point off of 15 because it happened in his private life. That was disappointing.
Sorry.
All right. Nice job, Jim Coughlin. We'll see the score in a minute. Oh, there's the score right there. Jim's total score is 29. It's also a great score. And now we sail into the second round. Blaine, do you want to explain the second round?
Well, the second round is where everybody comes back. It's more of a swimsuit thing. So everybody's going to be changing right now and getting into full prosthetics. And the theme of our second round tonight is Klingons. So there's going to be a lot of funny headpiece jokes. There's going to be a lot of Gore Nacht and jokes like that, and a lot of. But remember, you cannot. Unsheath your sword and return it to its sheath unbloodied.
Melissa, could you describe the second round, please?
It's just like that, except not at all. The only difference is that the stories need to be 1 minute longer. It's 2 minutes, true life, 2 minute story. And I think this is a harder round. We have been, I think, pretty easy, Blaine, on the judging. We're going to want more. We want more details. We want secrets. We want more.
I'm going to be I'm going to be a bit of a hard ass on this second one. I really clamped down a little bit. It's not really fun and games anymore.
By the way, let's hear from the folks in Facebook and YouTube. What's going on with you guys? Some great comments are coming in. Oh, there's one from Kielbasa Nova. Is that her real name, Blaine?
It is. It was, but she's Kielbasa F Nova in the guild because there was already a Kielbasa Nova.
Because to me, she's just like coming out of that Hammond organ store and coming. You know what I mean? Oh wow! Look at that. There is a virtual tip jar. Have you ever seen that?
A virtual tip jar? No.
Yeah.
What's it like? Tell us more.
Blaine, knock knock.
Hey, who's there, Christine?
It's me, virtual tip jar.
Oh, I thought it was Christine.
I'm always available, and I'm hungry for fun. I'm losing it. Okay, but that is of interest. And oh, look here. Somebody's having a wonderful time. Wait, no, that's Venmo. Oh, look at that. Abby Shackner. She's a friend of the show. Thank you, Abby. And here's a friend of mine named Ariel. She's up in the New England area. Welcome to see you as well. Thank you for joining us, Ariel. And we're going to get started with the second round. All the names are right here in the Story Smash Can of Truth.
Can of
Four
Truth.
names. This round, as Melissa said, is twice the fun, and we're going to get started right away. This first person coming up, tell me what that says, Blaine.
That says Jennifer Vally.
Jennifer Vally. Jennifer Valley's coming up. All right, you guys, let's get Jennifer Vally. First last time. How crazy is that?
Man, that wheel. Brought to you by the McDonald's on Wii Meal. I can't.
Oh, I'm so excited. It landed on audience. And you know what that means? We look to the chat room and we see if there's a story topic that one of the judges would like to hear tonight. Now, I know people have been putting their story topics in the chat the whole time. So I'm going to go back and take a look. Here's a couple: hospitals, neighborhoods, insurance, holidays. That's already on the Macy Pool. Whoever you are, you're wrong. Holidays is already on the wheel. Sorry. I love everybody in the audience. Alicia Marie, you said vacations also on the wheel. Somebody wrote overexcited. Is that mean or is that a topic? How about let's see what else. Wheel topic. My first car.
Ooh.
How about this?
That's a good one.
Oh, Melissa's blue eyes. Interessante.
Oh.
I know what's going on there. And now we move down. And what's this? Bonus points go to Jennifer for that background lighting.
Yeah.
Interesting, Kilbasa. All right, you guys. Did you hear anything you thought about that you would enjoy hearing about? We've got insurance, neighborhoods, hospitals.
Blaine, I was sort of drawn to my first car and or hospitals, because I think hospitals are stories of epic proportion, good and bad. So either one. First car or hospitals? What do you think?
I like the first cars. I think hospitals could be a little bummy outy.
Yeah. All right.
Why?
Oh, because that's where I lost my virginity. Where's the band? I was supposed to get a band hit.
All right, you guys. First cars, Jennifer Valley. When you're ready, I'll start the clock. You've got 2 full minutes. Take your time.
Okay. All righty. My first car was my mother's car. She had it for many, many years, and it was old when she gave it to me. It was a 65 Chevy Malibu Super Sport. Okay, this one was white. It had a white leather interior, and you could actually see the gas gauge go down as you were driving. So this Malibu had a trunk that was so big. So the neighborhood I lived in had a drive-in, okay? And it was $1 a person in the car. So we were very cheap, my friends and I. So we would just have 2 in the car, and I could fit, and I'm not kidding, 4 girls in my trunk. So we'd go to the drive-in, we'd go in, and then when we got in, we just popped the trunk, and everybody would pop out. So that car, whatever I spent in gas, I spent, less in going to the movies. And then I did everything in that car. I smoked cigarettes in that car. I made out in that car. I peed outside the door one time at the drive-in, because I didn't want to leave. So I just pulled down my pants, opened the door, and pissed outside. Just my butt, so no one really saw anything. Is that gross? Anyway, once I went to a party, so this 65 Chevy Malibu, everybody wanted it because it had white leather seats. Mm-hmm. And then one day I went to a party, and when I was a kid, you would drive to a party, and you partied till the cops came, and the party broke up. That's how it worked. You would go to the party, there would be a keg, there'd be like 5,000 teenagers. So I had parked my car, my 65 Chevy Malibu, white with a white leather interior, outside this party. And the cops came and everybody fled. And when I went back out to my car, there was a dent in my front door so big I couldn't open it because some fucker ran into it and left.
Hey, man, just over the wire, but still, what a story, Melissa Peterman.
Jennifer, did your mom work for the mob?
I don't know.
I'm just saying that trunk space could have come in handy for several sort of transports. As somebody whose dream is just to be able to fit into a trunk, I enjoyed this story. That's when you know you're like, can't fit in the trunk anymore. Got to get exercising. Where is this car now, Jennifer? Do we know?
I sold it to someone, and I have no idea. Yeah, once the door got smashed, I didn't want it anymore.
Let's pretend you sold it to Tyne Daly, and she's just driving around LA right now. Like,
That'd
just
be awesome.
that would be amazing. I like this story very much. I love a first car story because my first car was a Ford Escort that did not go in reverse. So I always had to park in a place that moved forward. And in hindsight, I like to think, it made me always look ahead, Melissa, but it was just a shitty car. But your car was very cool because it sounds like a supper club on wheels, leather banquettes, room to party. You can bring in guests. And I hope that you made a lot of money bringing your friends in to the movies. Do you remember what movie you saw?
You know what? I do. One of the movies was Billy Jack.
Oh,
You know what? He doesn't get mad. He gets even.
That's right. And I'm not going to get mad at this story because I thought it was fabulous. I'm giving you 14. You went a tiny bit over. 14, Jennifer. Well done. Well done.
Billy Jack. I'm going to nail that song in 1976. Would anybody like to comment?
I don't know. I'm too young.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that kid stuff that they're always dancing to. Too young.
What do you think, Blaine? It was a great story. You know that.
I thought it was great. It made me think of my mother, the car, which was a bunch of jokes I didn't use. One joke I did come up with was 2 in the front and 4 in the trunk, which I thought was like a nice sort of muscle car shocker. It was very cost effective. Your car. A bonus side point for the Tyne Daly reference to Melissa.
Thank you.
But you know what? I'll tell you what I loved. It had the word peed in it. And I think that's my theme tonight. Anything that has peed is just funny to me. So that was a lot of fun. But as you know, in the second round, I'm a real hard ass.
Yeah.
So I think we're topping out this round at 3.
3. Now that is a tough score. 3. What the what? All right, fair enough. 3. And so, okay, turn that off. What's going on? Okay, it would be fun to hear about more people's first car in the chat. You want to let me know what your first car was? It's kind of interesting. What's WTH?
What the hell?
What the hell?
What the
Wow.
hell?
I'm fighting with the producer in the bedroom. This is weird. All right. Is that the total score? Are we done? Melissa, did you talk about this?
I gave 14, and apparently Blaine gave 3, so that's 17. But Blaine's a hard ass right now.
It's coming on now. By the way, look at that. Billy Jack, 1971. Interesting. Always learning, always getting information.
Yeah, but I didn't drive then. That must have been, they must have just showed old movies at the drive-in or something. Because
yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I wasn't driving then for sure.
It's not a problem. We're not going to test you.
No. I'm just saying Billy Jack is for sure. You know.
Okay, David is not on the screen. Jennifer's total score 17. 17. Well, is that right? That doesn't sound high, but I guess that's what it is. 17. Okay, fine. We're moving on. And yeah, great. We're moving on. Now, the next person coming out to tell a true 2-minute story is Melissa. Who's this?
This is Erica.
Erica, come on, sister. The same order in the first round. Let's tell her what to do, everybody.
Turn down. It's been brought to you by Icy Hot Goth Topic. Analgesic liniment. Muscles have feelings too, Mom.
Oh my God. This whole game is so wild. Guess what? Erica landed on audience as well. So Erica's on audience.
So exciting.
Now we're in the chat room. We're looking for topics. Here's one, 1973.
I wasn't born. Not I mean, I was almost born.
Before my time, she wasn't either. Okay, we're going back in. I see clown trunk.
Oh, clown trunk. Yeah, that's the Malibu right there. You can
I'm
get.
not sure what that is. Let's go. Let's see
I
what
knew
else
he
we've got. We've got wheel topic. Melissa's blue eyes again.
Oh,
I could do that.
Somebody loves you. Alicia, vacations is on the wheel. It's not good enough.
well, I mean, I know that you were all like, it's a bummer, whatever, but hospitals, some great things happen in hospitals. I had a son, you lost your virginity. I mean, hospitals can be great stories, Blaine. I mean, why don't we go with it?
Blaine?
You know what? You've completely changed my mind. Let's do it.
Hospitals. Wow. It's an intense topic. You've got 2 minutes. Whenever you're ready, Erica, I'll start the clock.
I am ready. Okay, so I was 27 years old and all my dreams had come true. Like after years of, struggling, waitressing, and my acting dreams had come true. And I had become the star of a reality television show. And Madonna and Oprah were the executive producers. So it was like all kind of like secret and hush hush. But I was in this rock band too in New York, and we had started we were called the Rayographs, which once, anyway, but my hit single was called Flammable Nymphomaniac, and Madonna took some interest in me. And then through the grapevine, it also, like, my artistic talent was discovered, and MoMA commissioned a huge sculpture from me that I titled Hoot Hoot Don't Pollute, because I was building it out of trash and it was gonna run the span of Central Park, and MoMA had commissioned this, and so I would go out and collect the garbage, and then I'd go into the studio and record Flammable Nymphomaniac remixes and perform at the hottest clubs. And so I was famous. Well, famous in my mind, because what I found out was that I had broken from reality, because I have bipolar disorder, but I didn't know it yet. And so in my mind, I had become totally famous. So then my sister took me to the hospital and I got checked in, and then I escaped. But then I eventually went back and got better and take medication. And the hospital, we did karaoke. There was some bad stuff too, but karaoke.
Wow. It's a big story. It's a huge story. Isn't that called the Truman Show syndrome or something? Seriously.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that when you had me on your podcast. Yeah,
and it's about, seriously, it's like the Truman Show. Can you explain that real quick?
Yeah, they started noticing psychiatrists. It was on NPR, This American Life, but psychiatrists started noticing that people were coming in and saying my life's being filmed. I'm on camera. It's a live stream, and so it's part of a new term was the Truman syndrome. That people think I thought it was all secret. There were cameras and the wires, and I'd be wow, the extras are so good. I think anyway.
Blaine Capatch.
Wow.
I loved it. It was great. It had that same kind of weird angle on the entry that you did with your first story. So it was it was all taking place in your head. Is this Birdman, or is this the last episode of St. Elsewhere? And you Madonna and Oprah. I mean, come on, in your head even. That's great. And you worked the words MoMA and Hoot Hoot into a sentence.
Right?
What's not to love? I'll tell you what's not to love. I don't like karaoke. 3 points.
All right, Blaine.
God damn. You are rough. Look at him. He sits back. He's all smug.
I don't.
Peterman.
Okay. Well, first of all, again, I learned something because I thought all nymphomaniacs were flammable anyway. So that's what I enjoyed. But what I really did, like you did paint a picture of this reality that was your reality in that moment. That was fantastic. Also, you're such a good storyteller that I believed you. I'm like, why wouldn't Oprah and Madonna be interested in her? She's amazing. Also, we need to start a GoFundMe page right now because I want to see what that sculpture would be in Central Park because I bet it would be fabulous.
Yes.
This story hit me on a lot of levels, which I could go into for a lot of ways, but I loved it. And quick question: what was your go-to karaoke song at the hospital?
Manic Monday.
Guess what? I'm giving you 7 points. Can I give you 7 points?
No, you can't. 15 is the top.
Well, that's not the reality I'm living in right now. I'm going to give her 15 then because I loved it. I really loved it.
Yay. Excellent.
You talked about something that we should talk about. So there you go. 15.
That's it. Fantastic. Now, things seem to be going off the rails in Facebook. Look at this comment. What's happening, Jeffrey Powless?
I don't know.
Ed Horst, he's still talking about his car.
My favorite Republican used to be Jay Johnston.
82 Rabbit Diesel. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh, Rabbit Diesel. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, look at that. Dr. Kimberly Eddy wants to hear about public transportation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. All right, let's find out Erica's score. Let's look at the leaderboard. There it is. Erica's total score, 18. 18 doesn't sound high, but as you know, the last contestant got 17. So these are the numbers we're dealing with. What's this now? How close have you gotten to a Nebraska flight vehicle? I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, you guys, I'm reaching into the story where the smash can of truth. Melissa, who's this? Who's coming now?
David Crabb.
David Crabb, come on up, brother. Let's tell him what to do.
Man. Yeah. Real. It's been brought to you by Pancake Crafters, quality pancakes, in about an hour. Pancake Crafters.
Vacation. David landed on vacation. We've all been on vacation. Melissa, when's the last vacation you took?
To my living room. It was beautiful. It was so lovely. I left my bedroom. I finally got vertical, and I walked in there and I said, "What's this? It's a wonderland." And then I had an all-you-can-eat buffet on the couch. I drank more than the drink tickets I were allowed, and it was fabulous.
Fabulous. All right, David, you landed on vacation. Whenever you're ready, man, I'll start the clock.
Yeah, I'm ready. Years and years ago, so my dad was a fiber optic technician. He was this very sort of conservative Texas good old boy. He wore a big cowboy hat. And instead of getting proper vacations, I would basically leave my single mom and I would just basically drive around the United States with my dad in his Winnebago while he like fixed phone connections. And I was closeted. I had like sun-in bangs. I listened to a shitload of George Michael and Taylor Dane. My dad and I were not the same person. And in his Winnebago, I found a Penthouse magazine. I was like 14 and I was listening to a lot of print, so everything was activated. And I found this Penthouse magazine, and it was one of the ones where the centerfold was not just a lady, but it was a guy and a girl together. And they were they were fucking on the beach. And the guy was obscured. He was ripped. He was in a little wet white Speedo. I remember this one picture where it was like his tan ass cheeks with like her sandy handprints on his like waxed tan butt. I was in the Winnebago bathroom away from my dad so much. He was like, he bought me Pepto and was like, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "Yeah, my stomach." Cut to years later, I am brought into my guidance counselor's office. I am outed accidentally as a gay kid to my dad. I'm goth at this point. I wear like capes at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday and shit. And when we go home, like my dad is so thrown that I'm gay that I've come out, and I'm in my bedroom so afraid. And at one point, my dad enters the room and he's so sheepish. He's like, and he takes from behind his back the Penthouse magazine that I had been in love with and pleasured myself / abused myself to for years. And he held it up to me and he said, "DJ, I just want to ask you, which one of these people do you find more attractive?" And I said, him. And I waited because I was like, this is when my dad's going to disown me, call me a horrible name. And then my dad just rolled up the magazine and said, well, we're having fajitas for dinner. And he left.
You had fajitas. Woo! Blaine Capatch.
I thought you said heaven fajitas, and I thought that would have been just a perfect punchline for that.
That's my long-form improv team name. Sorry.
Oh, heaven fajitas. Oh, we should have got those. I loved it. It had everything. It had a Winnebago. It had a dad. It had a Deer Penthouse forum set up. And it makes me ask the question I always ask: are capes gay? I didn't think capes were gay, but apparently capes are gay. But it had everything. I thought it was a great story. I loved your impression of your dad. Unfortunately, I'm a hard ass a second round, 3 points.
For God's sakes! For God's sakes, the story was amazing. Okay, Melissa Peterman, tell us what it's worth.
I love this story because you know what? It was two guys on a road trip, which is this classic. It's a classic story. Two guys, family, father, son on a road trip. Both have secrets. Both aren't sharing. They both find them. Maybe your dad liked Taylor Dane more than he even let on. He probably loved. He was just like, play some more George Michael. I love that Freedom song.
Can I tell you who he loved? Just because it's so weird, it did not even occur to me. Reba freaking McEntire. I'm not lying to you. We listened to the cassette so many times. How weird. I didn't even think of that. Anyway.
Because she's the bridge. She's the bridge between all of it.
She's so likable.
Now, David, I don't know if I have the core strength to show you this, but when you mentioned Prince, I have a Prince tattoo right there. So you mentioned Prince, which made my heart swell. But that wasn't the only thing. It was I like that your dad, and maybe he wasn't ready to say all the things you needed to hear at that moment. But the best thing is he didn't say the things that you didn't need to hear at that moment. And you had fajitas. So you know what? I'm 15. 15. I'm 15.
Melissa, what if he started singing Pink Cashmere? Then what?
Then I would probably have another child because that song gets you pregnant. That's my
David's total score 18.
That's right.
Get it. All right, David's total score 18 doesn't sound like a lot, but as you heard,
that's a great story. I love it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, that was great, David. Thanks.
I gotta tell you, Blaine, have you ever seen such a thing? The lineup for the first round is exactly the lineup for the second round. What do you make of it?
I think it's a statistical near impossibility that's only matched by the probability of being struck by that skyscraper-sized asteroid that's passing Earth tomorrow, right around. Oh my gosh! I forgot about daylight savings.
All right, you guys, we got one more storyteller coming up, and this is going to complete the second round and maybe the show. I don't know. We could have a tie. It's hard to say. Let's bring him up right now, Mr. Jim Coughlin. There he is, everybody. Let's tell him what to do. In the goddamn wheel.
It's been brought to you by Toenails. Harder to cut, but they grow half as fast. Toenails.
Drunk Tank. Jim Coughlin landed on Drunk Tank, and this should be comical. I look forward to this story. Jim Coughlin, whenever you're ready, I'll start the clock.
Well, I'm on the fence, but let's go. All right. So I've only really been drunk one time, and I was by myself, and I knew I couldn't drive, so I walked to Target, and I had a very fun time, but no one interacted with me. Christine was with me the second time I had alcohol intentionally as an adult. I waited until I was 44 to start drinking alcohol. So I don't want to talk about a drunk tank so much as getting in trouble because you've done drugs. So some people will have a party and they will put out drugs. And I can't believe people would do this. And the first time that I went to a party, it was labeled. The second time I went to a Christmas party and there was these chocolate chip cookies, and I had some slices of these chocolate chip cookies, and there was no sign that there were any drugs, but they did have a little earthy taste. But still, I was like, no one would leave out drugs in cookies for someone to just eat without telling them. And as it turned out, there was a paper sign that had fallen over that said pot cookies. And I stayed around till the end of the party, and it turned out that there was pot in them. And the downstairs neighbor had eaten so many that she was so high that she was having a bad experience. And I found out she had had like 3 slices. And I told the owner of this house who threw the party that I had 4 or 5 slices. And so now I was high and kind of having almost like a visual, not a hallucination, but just sort of a visuals. And so it was decided that yet again, I couldn't drive. And so I slept on one couch, and her friend who was having this bad experience slept on the other couch. And to this day, I can't believe somebody would allow somebody to accidentally drug themselves without, taking responsibility and making it very clear, I've laid out drugs that could destroy your life.
Mm-hmm.
It just disgusts me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think the key to the story is that the person he's talking about is
you. It's you.
That's exactly right. And I got to tell you something. You drug your friends one time and everybody gets pissed off. Blaine Capatch.
I just want a microdose after hearing that. That was fantastic. Getting drunk alone reminded me of all the wonderful times that I got drunk alone. The first time I realized that I was capable of doing that, I lived in my own apartment, and I was like, hey, I got so drunk I couldn't even jerk off. So thanks for taking me back to that. That was fantastic. I knew it was Christine immediately, the way she turned her back in shame and started laughing as you talked. That was terrific. But I got to be honest, a slice of cookie is not a proper cookie measurement. A slice
Isn't
of
that
cookie.
the truth?
It was weird. I should have,
I love the story. I thought it was fantastic, and I see where you were coming from with everything from every direction, but still a slice, 3 points.
Fair enough.
3 points. Melissa Peterman, not only do I want to hear your comment on this story, but tell us about your drug experiences. We don't have all night.
None. I'm so boring. I mean, we could talk about drinking and going to Target all day long. But first of all, you had me at going to Target, the mothership. That was your first, that's the most comforting place to go in any sort of induced state. You're going to get things that you didn't know you needed. It's fabulous. And I have a little point of contention with Blaine. I'm glad you finally used the correct term, slice of cookie, because I don't want to think that I'm the only one that's like, hey, where'd that loaf of cookies go? I usually eat a loaf of cookies. I don't want to be judged. So a slice of cookie is the correct term, okay? So Blaine, I call BS on that, all right?
Okay, I understand. I understand. Not everybody is into the cookie metric system.
I'm just saying, I like the slice of cookie because I imagined a loaf of cookies, and then that made me happy. And then I thought, what if you went to Target with drinking and a loaf of cookies? I did think it was Christine's party because you could tell from the shame and the side pony that lady drugs people all the time.
It happened once to 2 people. That's it.
Do you not have a Post-it note that says something?
Coughlin, tell him about the sign.
There was a paper sign that had fallen over, but I didn't see it.
Because the house was full of drug addicts.
Yes.
Know if that paper sign fell.
Would not have protected her in court.
Well, I'm going to take the points that Blaine didn't give you. How was he on time? He was a tiny bit over. I'm going to give you, because you were drugged by the host, I feel like you should just win. But I'm going to give you 14 because that was a fabulous story. And I hope you celebrate with a loaf of cookies tonight.
I will.
I touched her steering wheel once, and I was on angel dust for 4 days.
I know.
It's bad news. Bad news. Don't let her take you up in the small plane. She's got a license, but she doesn't. Don't go up in the plane.
Her
All
book
right, you guys.
club- her book club is insane.
Total score 17. Look at me. I'm taking the clock away because I'm like a grown up. And now we're going to see the total scores because there were 2 rounds, as you know, 15 points per judge, 30 per round. 60 would be the best score you could get.
Somebody had a slice of cookie. I think it's Christine.
No kidding. And by the way, do you guys know what the winner wins?
What?
Cue the music. $10 via Venmo tomorrow.
Slice of money.
Guess what, folks? That's $10 coming from me because I love you and I appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Leaderboard?
Take a look at that leaderboard.
Blaine, you're like in the Olympics all of a sudden.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard. We've got Jim with a total of 46. Let's head over to Erica's score. Let's see what she's got on the leaderboard. All right, Erica's at 47. All right.
Score from Erica.
It's a wonderful score. She really pulled it in. Jennifer's got 47 as well. There's a tie. Let's see what David has. Let's see what. Oh, he's got 4. We have a 3-way tie. This is never heard of. But we've only. Is this where Peter Mehlman finally calls in and breaks the 3-way tie? Is that what we're waiting for?
You guys, this is awesome. We're heading into the spin-off round. Blaine, have you seen the spin-off round?
I have seen the spin-off round over.
Melissa, just to catch you up, spin-off round, same thing we've been doing, but just for a 1-minute story. So what I do is I take the story smash can of truth and I dump out Jim Coughlin. Sorry, Jim.
Jim.
And I put an Erica Blumfield.
I get dosed. And by the way, I ended at 2 minutes. Anyway, whatever. I see how it is. You're all
Jim, in reality, I was trying not to have a 4-way tie.
Sure. I got
a loaf of cookies in the oven that I got to get to, Jim. I can't sit through another 4 minutes.
Let me just be clear. I've never won, but this is the first time that I'm the one loser. This is the one time that I've been selected for loss instead of being one of the, Anyway, I'm good.
You know what? Just welcome to my pilot season.
I'm going to have a loaf of cookies. I'll be fine.
Yeah, this is the first 3-way on Story Smash. Good observation.
Thank you, Ed.
Hurst. Who's in it for the money?
It's because Jim is leaving, right? That it's a 3-way, that Jim is being ejected from the game because of his low score. I'll just make it just wanted to underline that.
Hey, really quick. I want to give a big, as I put the last 3 names in the Story Smash can of truth for the spinoff. Before we get to the round, which is going to be a 1-minute round, I want to give a big thank you to our expert judges tonight, really doing double time. You see what's happening. Blaine Capatch and Melissa Peterman. Where are you? Are you clapping? You should be. Peter Mehlman, go to hell.
Oh my gosh.
I kid and I'm buzzed. Let's have some fun, shall we? Come on, you guys. Let's reach into the story can of truth.
Oh
my Lord. Blaine, I need a break. Who are we sponsored by?
Blaine froze.
Oh.
He lies. He didn't freeze. He lies.
Sorry, we just went through some weird time warp.
All right, you guys, coming to the stage right now for a true 1-minute story is the fantastic Erica Blumfield. Come on up, Erica. I hear the music in my head, no matter what. There she is. Let's tell her what to do.
Bad wheel. It's been brought to you by Paul Mitchell Toothpaste and Conditioner for thick, lustrous teeth. Paul Mitchell, toothpaste conditioner.
Mom. Erica landed on mom. We all have a mom. Let's hear what she has to say about it. True 1 minute story. When you're ready, Erica, I'll start the clock. Take your time.
So my mom was interesting. When I was 5, she got me that book, like Our Bodies, Ourselves. And then as I aged, I kept waiting for my boobs to like look like the timeline. And so then I was like, oh my God, I finally have them. And I saw in the book that I didn't like how they looked. But then my mom in the dressing room of a like clothing store, you know, she was really nurturing about it. And she pointed at them and she said, yeah, 2 fried eggs. So there was that. And then there was the sex story where she told me that I shouldn't let boys stick their fingers in me because it would be like they were digging for the secret prize in a box of Cracker Jacks, which was a little scarring. But I got over it. And I realized that for the most part, she was wrong.
Blaine Capatch, let's hear your Cracker Jack remark.
Oh, that was terrific. It reminded me of all the times that I was digging around in a box of Cracker Jacks for the prize, which was always tattoos.
Yes.
Those press-on
We're very
tattoos.
generous.
Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, I wonder if this was a real memory. I feel like I got these little plastic beetles that I set up on a little fake stage that were my Cracker Jacks, and I don't know if it was a dream or if it really happened. I was very young. Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
I also I loved the sequel, Your Body Yourself. That was a big book in my life. And I also have the fried eggs going on. So you know what? I'm feeling good. You're bringing me back 15 points.
Oh, holy tamale, from 3 to 15. Who knew? Melissa Peterman.
Well, first of all, you started the mom story with the perfect sentence that every mom story starts with, which is, my mom is interesting, which I enjoyed. Also, the book I got, I wish I would have had that book. I got one that was called It's Neat to Be a Girl. And I read it. I'm like, this doesn't sound neat at all. And I'm looking at you right now with that gorgeous top on and you're beautiful. And right now it's like it's almost like you've got like a spider web that's just, it's perfect. That's beauty. And by the way, your mom was right, because it doesn't matter. It is a prize. It's a prize all on its own. There you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Wanted to say that at some point tonight. Did it. Bang, boom. So I love that story. Eric, I think you're a delight. Blaine gave you 15. You brought him out of the coma. I feel like I have to like gauge. I don't know how not to. I'll give you only 14 because it wasn't quite a minute, but it was perfect, Erica. You're perfect in 14.
All right, 14.
Thank
It's a great
you.
score. Thanks, Erica. Her total score is 29. 29. It's a great score out of 30. And things are going awry in Facebook. Here's a comment. Jeffrey, what's happening?
Jeffrey needs.
He's on Vicodin, dental emergency, feeling fine, no pain. Took 15 minutes to write this. I read it in like 2 seconds. This is going to take forever talking to this guy. Jeffrey.
Oh, I give him
Jeffrey,
15.
quick, give me a detailed review of the English Patient.
He left her just because she had a broken ankle. He left her. I'd be like, fuck you, man. I'm going on your back. I'm going all the way. If you die, I die. If I die, you die. There's no way you're going to leave my ass in a cave. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up right now to tell a true 1 minute story. This is the spinoff round, and we're all very excited. And that is, oh my gosh, look at that. David Crabb. David Crabb, come on up, brother. Here we go.
I'm having a psychotic break watching this, really. I feel like I'm on acid. It's amazing. Spin it.
I want to do, you guys.
Spin it.
That motherfucking wheel.
Been brought to you by Games Workshop. I think there's one still open in Youngstown. It could be wrong. Games Workshop.
No shit. He landed on audience. He landed on audience. We're going back to the chat. If you have an idea of what
Go to the
story
Vicodin guy. The Vicodin guy.
I think he has a great suggestion. We might have to wait a while, but it'll be worth it. I know it.
Yeah.
Okay, it might. I don't know about Vicodin if that's a suggestion, but folks, you guys can go ahead, leave your comments in the chat, and then we'll know what's going on. Here's one: hospitals. I think we heard that. No, that's audience. Here's one: neighborhoods. Here's one: insurance. Very interesting. And let's look at what's coming in right now: ice cream. And here we have high school dance.
Oh, high school dance in Texas? That could
I
be.
know, right?
Blaine, what do you think?
I think that is a fertile area for good storytelling, Melissa.
Oh, thanks, Blaine. That's the nicest thing you've said to me all year.
All right, you guys. High school. Oh, here's Stella. Stella, you're late to the game, but interesting. COVID dating.
COVID dating. Oh,
Yeah. Okay, but David Crabb, you've got what was it, Blaine?
High school
dating? High school dance.
High school dance. High school
COVID
dance.
high
When
school
you're
dance.
ready,
Yeah.
I'll start the clock. If I wait, I got it. Okay, I got it.
This is what's called a shoehorn. Let's go.
Make it fit.
My high school dance I went to as the out proud gay kid with a lot of attitude because my mother wanted a gay son so badly that this is the book she gave me. I have it right here at the ready, The Facts of Love. If there was a chance I would have liked a woman's inside, she ruined it. I thought that I told my mother, I said, look, I'm trying to explore women's, but I'm afraid that there's the small head of an elk buried deep inside the vagina of anyone I might have a sexual relationship with. That haunted me. But she said, you know what a uterus is. This was the illustration I was in love with. I'm still convinced that this Rob Lowe #2 pencil shaded drawing is why I'm a homosexual. And I really am thankful to my mother for this. I slow danced. I didn't go to the prom. I went to a house party where people drank grape Mad Dog. And I slow danced with a boy to Voices Carry. That still today, if I hear it, I get the stingy nose. And anyway, speaking of the way you want your boobs to be, this drawing is what I'll leave you with.
Wow. An amazing story with visuals, Blaine Capatch.
Perfect landing with the sound effect and the picture. That was great. It also reminded me of the time that I slow danced in Texas to Voices Carry, but I can't really talk about it because Amy Mann can hear us. I thought it was wonderful. I liked you kind of sticking to your guns, whatever that means, but most of all, I love the at hand book loaded with blue and pink Post-its. Like you were making some kind of goddamn origami Muppet. So I'm going to have to give you 15.
An amazing story, a great score. Melissa Peterman. Get it.
I'm going to give you this while Voices Carry plays because this is a great song.
So amazing.
First of all, the preparation with which you had the facts of love at hand made me happy. That's an improviser ready, like, where can I get it? And had it. I was a little concerned at the amount of annotation in the book because you clearly studied a lot. I enjoyed the elk ram alliteration.
15. A great score. Melissa, when you see that elk, can you believe it? You got that too.
Living downtown.
I mean, the part where she stands up in the opera, misunderstood, and just screams to all of her rich boyfriends, upper crust friends, that she's more than just arm candy. Anyway, yes, that's it. Gorgeous.
Also,
gorgeous.
David, I don't know if you follow me on any of the social medias, but if you could send me that pencil drawing of the Rob Lowe looking guy, I'd love to have it.
I'd also like to have that, please.
I'll scan it. I'll send it. And I just sent you a Prince related thing in the break, so we'll connect. Yes.
Okay, we'll connect.
Yeah.
Blaine, do you want that sketch drawing of the guy?
No, if you could just send me that one of everybody standing there naked, that would be cool though, because I'm really into the Osmonds.
It's so upsetting.
that one.
That's the
perfect.
worst.
Yeah, right there. I could do some Battle of the Network Stars stuff.
Liner.
Yeah, that'll take care of some.
All right, you guys. David Soto score 30. We know this, and we've got one more person coming up. I already know the name because she's the last person coming up. This is unprecedented, you guys out there watching Story Smash for the first time. First of all, make sure you head over to the website, storysmashshow.com, and you'll see all sorts of cool pictures and all sorts of stuff from the last episode. So storysmashshow.com, and follow Story Smash on Instagram at Story Smash. And here we go. The last storyteller of the night, telling a true 1-minute story, the amazing and the very talented Jennifer Vally. Jennifer! Jennifer Vally. She lives in the valley. Yeah. Just tell her what to do, everybody.
Real. It's been brought to you by AB Negative Blood. Step up into the AB Negative world. AB Negative Blood.
Pets. Jennifer landed on pets. Now, I know this for sure. I have a cat named Sophie, and she has a cat named Sophie. Will she talk about Sophie? We don't know. When you're ready, Jennifer.
Okay. So when I was growing up, we always had pets. We had cats and dogs, but my sister was a scientist. And so the sick and dying rats and mice that were left over from the lab, she would bring home. So not only did we have dogs and cats, we had cages filled with tumor-filled mice, rats, whatever. It developed drugs that people use. Anyway, so one time our cat, Duveltje, which means devil, little devil in Dutch, had a mouse in its mouth. And somehow one of the mice got out. It had it in its mouth, and I was so freaked out. My sister was going to get mad. I took the cat by the throat, and I was squeezing it, saying, drop it, and it wouldn't drop it. And so I squeezed so hard, I could feel the Duveltje's little esophagus going in. It freaked me out. I was like, oh my God, I'm so close to death, just so this fucking mouse could live. And he finally dropped the mouse, and it lived.
Dramatic, intense, interesting, and scary. Melissa Peterman.
I like that you were willing to kill another pet for the mouse. So on like a pet scale, I don't know who I'm rooting for almost. Like, do I want the mouse to be saved, but do I want the devil to be killed? First of all, I like that your mom was rescuing like lab testers.
Yeah, my sister, she would bring home the mice, the lab rats and mice.
Which I feel like that's sort of the story. Like she rescued them from the lab, so they weren't being tested like for mascara or anything like that. But then they were allowed, then she let the devil eat them. So it was like tomato. I enjoyed this story. Was he a nice cat?
It was, but cats and mice, it's all.
He's doing his job. Like you can't get mad at him.
I felt.
You can get mad at him. Like you can try to, asphyxiate him, but you can't get mad at him because he was doing his job. He was doing the job.
And if he would have killed it, he probably would have given it to me as a gift. So
I enjoyed this because it had rescue in it. It had redemption. It had near death. Plus, your bangs are amazing, and it makes me go like, "Oh, Melissa, don't leave this after having some Cabernet and go, I'm going to give myself bangs because Jennifer looks so great." I'm giving you, Jennifer. You were a tiny bit over 14. Perfect. I love the story.
Great story, Blaine Capatch.
Hi, Jennifer. It's me, Blaine. I thought your story was fantastic. It had everything. It had cats, it had mice, it had strangulation, and it reminded me of all the times that I've autoerotically asphyxiated my cat. All you really need is a plastic bag and a lemon slice, a belt, a hotel room, and they have those pet hotels, which are really nice. I'll tell you what bothered me was the idea of leftover mice and rats, because that's what my mom would always bring home from work. It's all the leftover. Oh my God, rats and mice again from the lab. And you could just taste the cancer in them. And the cosmetics. It was terrible. And it did make me wonder if there was some sort of Tom and Jerry tie-in happening there towards the end. I'm seeing it on too many bus things, but I loved it. 15
points. Amazing. Great score for Jennifer Vally. Now our producer here is going to add up the scores. We're going to look at the leaderboard in just a second. Let's bring everybody back on screen. And while the scores are coming in, I want to tell you a quick story about a cat I had named Daisy. Let's lift up the clock and let's put a minute on the clock for my story about my cat. Here we go. I had this cat named Daisy that I adored, and she and I were together for 12 years. I loved Daisy, but then I had a baby, and Daisy didn't like the baby. So Daisy started like peeing in different parts of the apartment, and it was, that's a bad thing, right? But my husband at the time and I decided that, Daisy's okay as long as she doesn't pee in the crib or as long as she doesn't pee in our bed. We're okay with it. So one night I am at home and I'm watching The Sopranos. I'm dating myself, and I have Alabama in my lap, my daughter, and she's nursing. She's about 8 months old, my baby girl. And my husband, Matt, was at work on a film and he wasn't getting home till late. So I'm there with Alabama nursing, a perfect night watching The Sopranos. And then here comes Daisy, and she jumps up on the couch. It was so sweet. And she turns around, and she's so cute. And then she turns around, lifts her tail, sit on the baby.
Oh,
What episode of Sopranos were you watching?
Well, it was episode 5. It was when Tony takes Meadow to college. Actually,
That's very soothing for infants. They love that. It's good mooners. Tony Gandolfini. It was perfect.
Okay, Melissa Peterman, what do you give me?
Well, it ended the way I thought it was going to be. That the cat was going to pee. Also, that was
she shit on the baby.
Rule. It's just not the crib or the bed. I'd have far more rules for where people or animals can pee in my house. Just saying. So I'm going to give you 13 out of that.
Okay. I can live with the 13. Look at the audience. They're all coming in. Russell likes me. Alicia likes me. And look at Russell. Again, Russell, I get it. Blaine Capatch.
Sorry, I was muted there. Test, check 2, check.
Stop it.
I loved that it had cats shitting. It had cats peeing. It had revenge from the cat. My cat Calvin did a revenge thing for me. Who was very nice. He was. I was living with this woman in Baltimore, and we had broken up, but we were still living together. And she moved her furniture into our apartment, and she brought her bed up, and it was set up in the living room. And Calvin walked in the room the first day it was there. He walked in and he looked at me. He looked at me and just went like this. Gave me a little nod. He just jumped up on the bed and like kind of got his hips down and just started peeing. She goes, Calvin, just grabs him and gave him a little flying lesson. But just he looked at the bed and looked at me, and he was like, hey, watch this. He was my best friend. I really miss him.
That's so cats, though. They really do have attitude. All right, you guys, let's look at the leaderboard. Where are we? I have no idea.
You want to have the Sopranos theme song play while we listen to it?
Yeah, let's hear that. Oh no, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, do it louder.
Got a boom, boom in my head.
I don't have my speaker in here.
Got a boom, boom in my head. Jennifer's total score is 29. Sounds low, but then Blaine went off the rails for a minute, so who knows? Jennifer, 29. What else we got there?
Where are we?
Erica's got 29. Oh, for God's sakes.
Do we have a three-way tie again?
This person is going to get $10 via Venmo tomorrow. And if it's a tie, swear to God, you got to split it. David's got 30. And then what else? Is that it?
That's it.
Oh my God, David Crabb, fantastic! Way to go, brother! Story Smash champion, David Crabb. Thank you so much, you guys. Big applause wherever you are. Put your hands together for our fabulous contestants, Erica Blumfield, Jim Coughlin. Are you clapping? Jennifer Vally, she's so sassy. David Crabb, amazing job. And thank you so much to Blaine Capatch and Melissa Peterman. Thank you very much for hanging in there and staying with the game with only 2 judges. This is new. This is exciting. I think it was okay. And we'll see you guys next Friday, March 12th for another round of Story Smash. My name is Christine Blackburn. Good night.
You guys were all awesome.
You were awesome. So funny. Thank you.
Yay.